everybody, this is Tom from VermiBag. Today I want to show you a really quick, kind of like the lazy man's way of preparing eggshells. I used to take these things, they would nuke them, stick them in the oven, dry them out that way. But the more I do vermicomposting and the longer I get into this, my time is really important, and I just don't want to take the time to do that. So, and I don't really think that it's actually necessary either. So what I do now is I just store all my eggs in the cartons. So once I get done with them, I put them in the carton, and I just stack them away somewhere where pests and stuff aren't going to get to them, and just let them dry out inside the carton. So, these have been probably a couple months. But all these eggshells are pretty well dried out, and there might be a tiny little bit of moisture, I suppose, in a couple of them. But the quickest and easiest way I've found to do this is actually put them into a bag. Now, I've used a Ziploc bag and some plastic bags before, and kitchen sack type plastic bags. And the problem with that is anybody that's done that, once you start crushing these eggshells, they poke through the material, and they're pretty sharp. They can actually almost cut you. So what I started doing is making these little nylon bags. And they're really slick because they're real tough. This is out of a packed cloth material. And all you have to do with this is just take your eggshells, dump them inside there, and just crush them up. Now the first time around it doesn't get them terribly crushed up. They're pretty good size still. You can see, I can see the big chunks of them. You're not going to want to throw them into your worm bin like that. So again, so what I do, this is just a big pail of eggshells that I have that I put all the cartons. Throw those in there. Take it here, just crush these things up the best you can by hand. And what I normally do is actually just take some type of a round item. I happen to use a PVC pipe here. And just rock it back and forth over the eggshells inside the bag. Shake the bag up again a little bit to remix them. Place it back in there. Remix them. And this is what it all looks like now, literally in 45 seconds to a minute. Now this is plenty small enough to put into a little spice grinder. So I have here what I normally do. But I like to grind it up into more of a powder. Just take a scoop of the stuff we just ground, stick it in your spice grinder, turn that thing on for about 15 seconds or so. And now you have this nice powder. Try not to breathe that in when you first open it up. And this is a really nice fine powder that you can put into your bins. Now, when you do this crushing, you can put an awful lot of eggs in. You don't have to grind this stuff all up into the fine powder yet. In fact, I recommend that you don't, because if you have any moisture left in these eggs, in the bottom here, maybe this little section here is a little bit wet still. By sitting in this bag for another, a couple weeks or a month or whatever, you need some to pull out, it's going to dry out even more. So you're not going to have any wet areas when you grind it, stick it in your spice grinder. So, super simple way to process these eggs. Literally it takes a few minutes. I don't have to turn on the oven. I don't have to microwave them. And I have not had any issues whatsoever doing it this way. Again, it's super simple. What I'm going to do also is while I have the extra material, I still have some of this material left over from when I used to use this type of material on part of the VermiBags, which I don't anymore. But I am going to, anybody that buys a VermiBag from me over the next couple of months, I'm going to go ahead and include one of these bags in with the system, just so you can crush eggshells and stuff up with it. And again, they're so sweet because they're tough, and so these eggshells won't push through them, so you're not going to cut your hands. This thing will last forever. And again, it's super simple to process these shells. And then just leave them in this bag and the bag will breathe a little bit. So It'll dry out a little bit more, and then as you need some, grab a little scoop of them, put it in your spice grinder, and grind up as much as you want. Maybe you got a month's supply here, and the rest of it you can store like this. This takes a heck of a lot less space than about 20 or 30 of these. So there you have it. That's the 3-minute lazy man way of processing eggshells. Like I said, it works well for me, and I think it'll work well for you too. And again, if you pick up a VermiBag in the next couple months, I'm going to throw this simple little bag in there with it, just for you to process eggshells with it, because it works really nice. So that's it for today. This is Tom from VermiBag. Till next time, ciao.